the Civil War. He used to let women into camp at night with the men, camp followers, ladies of the evening. The men would whisper that General Joe would let us hooker girls in camp. So we gave him a statue. Mary died and left. Mary was hanged on Boston Common in 1660. Her terrible crime was teaching her Quaker beliefs. She had opinions too. She was a friend and follower of Benedict Hutchinson. And she was banished for a year. She returned and started again, preaching again. So she was arrested and convicted and hanged right there in the common by people that came here for religious freedom. They just weren't about to give it to anybody else. These additions to the State House came about 100 years later. And the second floor here above the sign was an apartment of Senator John F. Kennedy. He had to keep a residence in the district, the senatorial district. You see, that was his bachelor pad, his swing pad. When he was a good boy, he was down in Hyannis with the family. 10-10, he didn't care. He just drink and hang out anywhere. We usually don't take this route, but they're doing work downtown and the streets are closed. But it's good. We get to see more of Beacon Hill. Early building on the left, call that style brutalism. And it is brutal to look at. Fresh concrete, 1968. Government Center. This was an area known as Scully Square. Red light district during vaudeville and burlesque. My father used to tell me about it. He worked on shore patrol during World War II. In the early 60s, they leveled Scully Square, built Government Center, the John F. Kennedy Federal Building, straight ahead behind the Big Apple Circus, Boston City Hall, state office buildings, all three branches of government you'll find right here in Government Center. Get to stop one, you have the aquarium there, the Long Wharf, Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market. What is a circus without elephants? Ringling Brothers comes every year. This will be the first year without the elephants. Yeah. They used to parade them right through Boston and take them down to the North End for lunch on Hanover Street. That was a sight. Trunk to tail, they'd march them along. Much more obedient than my dog. Straight ahead, that's the North End, that's Little Italy in Boston. Stops 2 and 3 for the North End. Also in the North End, you find Paul Revere's house in the Old North Church. And that will be a hopping place tonight with all the restaurants. I'm going to come back here again later on, but because of the detour, I'm going to do it right now. This is open to the public, local foods, cooking demonstrations, seasonal fruits and vegetables. Right behind you, you'll see Haymarket, which has been going on for over 100 years. Every Friday and Saturday, they sell directly to the public, the wholesalers. The 6 glass towers, the Holocaust Memorial. Each tower, you look real close, has a million set of numbers laser X inside. Yeah, I can see people go. Behind it, the Blackstone Block, 1730. Right in the middle of the block, Union Oyster House, the oldest restaurant in America, that opened in 1826. Wow, look at the crowd here for Sam Adams' statue of Faneuil Hall. Either that or it's breakdancing.
Breakdance.
I think the latter, yeah. Who cares about the guy that started the American Revolution? The CCM statue. He called a meeting in this town hall that became the Boston Tea Party. It started right here. December 16, 1778. Not to be confused with John Adams, his young idealistic second cousin, a lawyer, a Harvard graduate lawyer, who would defend anyone. John defended the 8 soldiers, the captain, that were tried for murder for killing 5 people at the Boston Massacre. That started right up the street here. Right behind Faneuil Hall, North, Central, and South Market buildings restaurants, retail, cafes. As you can see, the busiest place in Boston still. This opened in 1976 as a tourist attraction, and cafes and restaurants has just been booming since then. The Granite Buildings were originally built for butchers and purveyors of vegetables and fruit. And at that time, the ships would actually pull up right to the back of the market. The whole perimeter road in Boston is all landfill. All right, we'll get a bird's eye view of what's going on here. But I've seen these guys. They really put on a good show. Obviously, look at the crowd. Up here, right in the Hard Rock Cafe in Boston. Jurgen Park, that's one of the oldest restaurants in Boston. They still serve the big 38-ounce primer on the bone, the Fred Fitzlow. They have smaller ones too. If you don't get primer on the bone, it's not worth getting. Yankee pot roast. And you can't get Boston baked beans here. I think they're about the only ones left that make them because there's not much profit in it and it's a 2-day process. Soaking the beans off. My mother used to do that Friday night, soak the beans for weenies and beanies on Saturday. I think it was just an excuse to have a couple of schlitz. Yeah. Hey, she had 7 kids, she deserved it.
How many?
7. We had a small project family. A little bit busier this afternoon. This is the big thing underneath the tunnels. Bring us down to stop one. I'll be out of there at 4 o'clock. If anybody wants to continue on right away, we might catch the 340. You can jump on that roll if he's still there. Harbor cruises are here. The Whale Watch. Well, you didn't have to take a boat last week off of Nahat, just north of Boston. Nahat, Massachusetts, which is right out in the ocean. They had a giant blue whale jumping up and down, swimming around. They got lost from the pack that was feeding off of Cape Cod. Off of Cape Cod, outside here is George's Bank. That's the feeding ground that brings the whales here. And somewhere down there in the muck is probably the Andrea Gale. You remember the movie Perfect Storm? Yeah. Hurricane Ian and Noreen. This was custom designed for Boston as merry-go-round. See, it's all nautical themed. Mostly nautical themed. Columbus Park to our left. Named after the Italian navigator. I don't know why. Didn't even know where it was. Called the people Indians. Always love the Columbus Day Parade. And then the guy that realized where he was, another Italian sailor and the map maker, Amerigo Vespucci. You ever think about it? America, an Italian name. Every time I see those handsome carriages, I think of Kramer and Seinfeld. You ever remember that? Yeah. Eno. Whoa, Rusty. Whoa. Di Farino, yeah. Talk about a classic show. That's probably the classic show. Oops. Bow ties, hang in there. today out here in the Greenway. This is where the old highway used to be. Fitzgerald Expressway. Now it's Rose Kennedy Greenway. Barely. So you guys that want to leave right away, hop right on that trolley. This is stop number 1. Long Wharf, the aquarium, Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market. And Bobby, he's waiting for you. He's pulling on right now, anybody that's continuing on. Because I'm going to be here about 20 minutes.
Are we going to continue?
Yeah, you guys just hop right out here. I know, especially you guys, your time is very limited right now. You're welcome, folks. So long. You're welcome. So long, guys. Enjoy the rest of your stay. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks, sir. You guys want to hop on that one? He's leaving now. Otherwise, we're going to be parked here about 20 minutes.
What is